The late Celtic great Bill Russell said, quote, "Success is the result of consistent practice and winning skills and actions. There is nothing miraculous about the process," unquote. From Muhammad Ali to Colin Kaepernick, sports have often been the platform through which societal change happens.
We are an entity that believes that the platform of sport can create social justice.
Dan Leibowitz is the executive director for the Center for the Study of Sports in Society at Northeastern University.
We create curriculum around unpacking unconscious bias, around violence prevention, around toxic speech prevention.
Dan and his team of trainers work with organizations centered around sports to help facilitate conversations about race, with the goal of creating a safe environment for young people to express their thoughts and better understand one another.
Sport is a common denominator. We could have differences about the way we view almost anything on the planet. And yet on a given Sunday, we may all go and root for the Patriots. On a Friday night, we may all go root for the Celtics.
Tomei Barrows is the Assistant Director of Training at the Center for the Study of Sports in Society. He conducts workshops that encourage young athletes to have difficult conversations about racism and its place in society.
It's about having young folks sit in a room, sort of cast aside their prejudice or their biases, and just feel comfortable having conversations around race.
Race and racism are subjects that most people consider too controversial or personal to discuss openly. Tomei looks to take an unconventional approach to encourage young people to open up and share their experiences.
If you look at traditional learning, it's always been sort of the professor or the teacher dictating the speed and the conversations that are being had. We like to flip the paradigm. If us as trainers are doing most of the talking, it's going to be the most boring 2 hours of your life. And so I'll walk in the room and I'll say, for example, if you're in the training, I'll say to you, listen, I don't care, I'm not your coach, I'm not your teacher, I don't care what you say.
These group workshops empower young people to find their voice and address complicated feelings around race. And it's what they do with that newfound voice that may finally affect change in the future.
At some point in time in your life, everyone will be a bystander to something. And who will you be in that moment? And so this is just practice for when that moment happens. That's the power of giving them the voice. You get comfortable in areas where everyone's saying the opposite or everyone's quiet, and you feel comfortable being that one lifeline that could potentially save a life.
Another organization that looks to use sports as a tool to unify young people against racism is a boxing gym in Dorchester called Boxing Power and Fitness, run by Roxbury native Donald Houston, or as his pupils call him, Deke.
The most powerful weapon in the hands of your enemy is the minds of the people.
Growing up in the Orchard Park housing projects, Deke struggled with school at a young age because of an undiagnosed learning disability. His circumstances led him down a violent and dangerous path that eventually found him incarcerated. But Deke was determined to take back control of his life and made it his mission to someday empower others to do the same.
1, 2. What I had in mind was an oasis, a place where anyone, black, white, Puerto Rican, girl, boy, in between, whatever, didn't matter. And it doesn't matter. You could come here, young and old, learn a skill.
Deke packs his gym every Saturday with local kids who otherwise would not have the opportunity to play a sport.
A lot of instructors or coaches think that they're teaching these kids something. I don't believe that. I believe that we bring things out of these people. What you do with what you bring out makes the difference. If you see that a young person is having emotional problems or they're too aggressive, or it will come out here. And before they leave here, we'll know what it is that we need to work on to get them to the next step.
One of Deke's most promising students is a young woman by the name of Alea Cordoso.
This gym has done a lot more for me than expected. And it's really when you're in it that you feel it.
Inspired by her older brother's boxing career, Alea tried to pick up the sport several times, She tried a few gyms and instructors, but the discipline only seemed to stick when she found Deke.
This isn't only a gym. It's not only boxing. Like, it's home for a lot of us. It's not only boxing that brings me here, it's Deke himself. The things he does for us, the things he's willing to do for us, whether it's just a conversation on a bad day. It helps a lot of us as kids and a lot of people from my neighborhoods realize that there's good people out here who have been the same, like through the same things we've been through. He does so much. It's not just the gym, it's him.
The city of Boston has long struggled with a poisonous reputation, and communities of color are still dealing with issues brought on by segregation and discrimination. But with the help of some dedicated organizations, the first step toward change can be taken, and maybe a brighter future is on the horizon.